my first time really filming myself. Just wanted to get some thoughts out. It's a full moon tonight, so it's the best time to do it, right? Best time to talk to yourself, be a little weird, be a little loony. But hi, my name is Eli J. I am Eli J. And I want to help people. Eventually, I want to help people go through their own drama, their own psychological processes and problems, and help people lead a joyful life. So, I acknowledge that I gotta do that for myself. I want to be someone that could talk people through their trauma. So, what better time than to just do it now, right? Instead of just waiting until I become that person miraculously one day. I'll just take a step right now and just talk to myself while I drive home. How riveting. The frogs are gonna go crazy tonight. The moon is so bright. Oh my goodness. Lately, I've been thinking about the topic of surrender, because I've been, Sober October. I'm gonna get sober. I did not, but I'm still having a good time. But then my usual reaction would be to not beat myself up, but I won't feel the best. And then it'll be, alright, buckle down, it's time to get serious. I'm not gonna have this anymore. But I want everything. I don't want to give up anything. It sounds simple enough, right? What did the Buddhism say? The desire is the root of all suffering. But I think it's identification of the fact that you desire that thing. I don't want to not have desires. Desires make life fun. If I didn't desire anything, then I can just envision myself selflessly helping people to the point that I just die, because I don't even desire my health. But I'm not that person. And I do desire things. I'm not gonna give up my desire, so I gotta go a little deeper. Identification of the things I desire. Okay, so I want to give up weed consumption. I took in steps. I completely stopped smoking the herb. The herb. I stopped smoking it, and I take it in form of edibles. I tell myself that this is better than smoking, which, like, it is. You're not smoking something. But ultimately, my final form, I wanted to be someone that could produce their own cannabinoids with their own body. Because this body that we have, that we own, is the most sophisticated chemical processing system in the entire earth. I want to be a good manager of that and produce my own cannabinoids. But I take it in the form of edibles. I just eat it like chocolate. feels pretty good. So identification, right? I am identified with the person that desires to take cannabis, to feel a certain way. So what is it that I want to feel that I'm projecting onto this object called weed? I'm saying I can feel this when I take this. And it becomes, I need to take this so I can feel this. So what do I feel? Or what am I chasing? What feeling am I chasing that I am obtaining with weed? Well, I'd done a little bit of thinking while I was working. And that feeling is gratitude. Because when the edible is kicking just right, you know what I'm saying? And then you're not doing anything but just being in the moment, and you feel completely content and happy with that moment. That's why I take the edibles, because I feel that way. But I can feel that way without taking edibles. So why am I telling myself that this state of being that I want is relegated to a piece of chocolate? That doesn't make sense. Why do I think how I feel is outside of myself and not a choice that I choose? Why do I let other people push my buttons? Well, I don't, for the most part. I'm very good at keeping calm under pressure, dealing with rude people, not taking things personally. I am better at that than most people, I would say. But when it comes to myself, I'm like David Goggins. I don't know me, son, but to be fair, I am hard on myself because I'm afraid of being a bad person. But the fact that you check yourself like that so that you don't become something you don't want to be proves that you don't have to worry about being something that you don't want to be. Because you're already not that, but you're conscious of not turning into that. So why would you even have to worry about it? You don't. So what am I feeling like? Why am I making a problem? Why am I saying I have to stop this consumption to obtain something else now? What do I feel like? Okay, so weed was giving me the feeling of gratitude at a low point. I abused drugs a lot. I came to a good point now where I'm only consuming cannabis. And it's progress. But now I'm putting a condition on the cannabis itself that says if I want to obtain a higher state of myself, I need to give this up in order to obtain something. It's like Full Metal Alchemist. That was my favorite anime of all time growing up. And you know what they say, you can't obtain something without giving up something of equal value. But that's where the clash of ideals come in, because I am abundance. I am infinity. I am everything. I don't want to give up. I don't want to lose things. But it's not even that I don't want to. It's that I know I don't have to. can be everything right now at this moment because that's all I am. I can't help but be creative. I can't help but be creation itself. A piece of chocolate isn't getting in the way of me being everything. I have no choice but to be everything. But this is the psychological drama that I'm making up for myself, because here, this is how I was thinking about it. Why am I making problems? Well, what genuine problems are in my life right now? I am so blessed to say I genuinely have zero problems. Objectively, I have zero problems in my life. The only thing I struggle with is my negative self-belief that I have to struggle with learning. Oh, snap. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I said it out loud. I feel like I have to struggle with learning, and I usually relate that to school, like studying for school and college. I always procrastinate, and I'm like, I need to give up weed so I can better study, be a better student. This is conflicting now with what I want to be. But at the very root of it, like I just said, I feel like I need to struggle to learn. Being a better student, giving up weed, those are the surface level. Deep down, the root cause is that I believe I need to struggle to learn things. Okay. It makes sense why my experience is the way it is when I say it like that. But why do I feel like I need to struggle to learn things? As a kid, I had to learn a whole new fucking language. And I had to take this thing called Rosetta Stone. It's a computer program that teaches you other languages. I had to learn my alphabets. That was so stressful. I moved to an entire different country when I was 6. Didn't know the language. So when I say it like that, it's not that I just think I have to struggle to learn. It was a struggle to learn. But now I'm smart as hell. Yeah. You know, all geniuses talk to themselves. Okay. Well, now I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I have a negative belief that I need to struggle to learn. Did you guys ever watch Life of Pi? I have two wolves in me. One that just wants an easy life where I have it all, and another wolf that wants the universe to put me through what Pi had to go through to force me to accept and face creation. But that's not the theme I want to explore in this life. That was the Pi version of me, the irrational version. I want to be a little more rational. And by rational, I mean be so delusional. Because this is just a dream anyway, right? It's irrational to pretend like a dream is reality. I want to accept my reality for what it is, a dream. I have fears. I'm scared of the dark. Not so much anymore, but I have this habit of thinking the most scariest things when I'm alone in the dark. Like the most scary creepypasta thumbnail image you can think of. I just, for some reason, that pops into my head. But I am not my body, and I am not my mind. So I guess this antenna is picking up that reception somewhere, and maybe that's why it scares me, because I'm like, what does this mean? It doesn't mean anything. Sometimes what I learned is that sometimes our body is addicted to a certain emotion. Like, we know what we want, but we gravitate towards what we're comfortable with. So when you're so used to being in fear all the time, it feels uncomfortable to not be in fear. Like, there was this one time in specific that I remember where I was on the way back home with my girlfriend and her family. And we just had a great dinner. Everything was perfect. I'm just driving home, and all of a sudden I get this gut feeling that someone's gonna die. I'm too happy right now. Things are too good. Someone's gonna die. Why do I feel that way? Because my dad died. Yeah, that makes sense. Can we think of something else? Can we create a different narrative? It's kind of boring if the same shit happens again and again. Where's the twist? Where's the plot twist? The same drama? Nah. I'd rather an alien come down and beam us into space. That sounds more like my type of story. But I didn't always think like this. I used to be the most negative person on earth. I lived alone in high school. From junior to senior year, I lived in an apartment all by myself. And I was always used to being alone. But I wasn't really used to being alone. Physically. Like, my family would always be there. But I would just always feel so emotionally distant from them because we weren't very close as a family. But, yeah, I lived alone in high school. I was very negative. I even had friends, and I came up with a motto that I thought was so cool at the time, being an edgy teenager. I would always take what I want and just say, we take, we don't give. And I used to think that made me cool. Like, it made me a conqueror. Alexander the Great. I am Lex Luthor. I am Lex Luthor. Yeah. That was what I was on. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel bad. I just feel different. I am such a different person compared to what I used to be. Damn, I see police ahead of me. So I'll take that as a sign to watch what I say. Because you never know if the ops are watching. But if you have ops, just know you're doing something right. Pig turning the lights off. Let me go on cruise control. Yeah, there you go. There's some little snippet about Eli Jane. Lived alone, dead dad. But yeah, just rambling. I wonder if anything I said makes sense to anyone that wants to listen. Whenever I work, I listen to videos, and I have a desire. I'm just like, the things you're saying as fact, why do you feel that way? Is this like from a personal experience? And if it is a personal experience, can you share it? Why are you being so vague? So that's why I want to come on here and just talk about what comes to my mind and tell you the things that happened in my life for me to think like this. But at the core of it, the greatest teachings that I have learned is that you are not your body, you are not your mind, and that the higher self communicates through you with the vibration of excitement. So follow your highest excitement with no insistence on the outcome, because insistence causes resistance. You don't know what the best thing is. This little human brain wasn't meant to fathom how creation is going to lay out, what creation is going to lay out for you. It's only made to comprehend what excites you, and you just move towards that with no insistence on the outcome. Remember the insistence part. That's really important. Because let's say I want to be a fighter, right? So I take up boxing. But then I have such a big insistence that I want to be just like Canelo. I want to be just like Mike Tyson. And I just keep putting myself in harm's way because I have an image of what I want to be like. And I'm not just being in the moment doing what excites me. Now I'm just grinding. And society tells you that, grinding is a good thing. You gotta put in the work and all that. I want to live effortlessly. I don't want to just grind. I grind naturally. That's just my state. A part of my state is putting in work. But I don't want that to be my identity. I don't even want such a limiting identity for myself. So you have an insistence of what you should be like, and that puts you in unnecessary situations that slow down what you could have been like if you were just in the moment with the state of excitement, just doing things that you have fun with and being in the moment without being like, I am in this moment so that I can get this. That will just blur the image further and create more roads for you to have to take detours on. You have to trust that the road that you take based off excitement is the road that was specifically made for you. Because you're the one that's resonating with that excitement. Yeah, those are the two greatest teachings that I have learned personally that I am applying in my life. I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.